Hey everybody, I'm Chef Tom with atbbq.com, and this is honey mustard rotisserie turkey. Thanksgiving is right around the corner, but honestly this turkey is good year round. So if you're looking to switch things up with your turkey, go honey mustard glazed. We're gonna do a lemon-thyme brine on this, but before all of that, let's go ahead and just get this grill fired up. We're cooking today on the all-new redesigned Yoder Smokers Flat top charcoal grill. So it's an adjustable grill. This grate's gonna move up and down, but we need to get a couple of chimneys of charcoal going. So I'm just gonna light up some of this KJ fire starter, and then we'll throw a chimney full of our lump charcoal on top. Now let's talk about brining. We're gonna soak this bird overnight in a brine, and it comes from this concentrate, the Sweetwater Spice lemon-thyme brine. Now this is a really good brine. It's got tons of flavor. It's lots of citrus. Obviously you're gonna get thyme in there as well. You can see how thick this stuff is coming out. That's because we're actually going to add a bunch of water to it and some salt, because it has very little salt in it already. But what it does give you is a flavor base. So you're gonna be tasting that lemon and that thyme and a bunch of other good stuff, including orange, in this turkey when it's finished. Now this is the water that we're gonna be adding, but I don't wanna waste any of this goodness out of the jar, so we're just gonna shake it, clean it off a bit, and add it to the bucket. Now this is the big boy briner bucket, so you know you can get a couple turkeys in here if you need to. Next comes the water. We're doing 1 gallon per bottle. And that'll get you covered for one turkey for sure. Half cup of your Jacobsen kosher salt per bottle, so 1 cup today. And just give it a whisk. Now what I love about this stuff is you don't have to heat it up. You're just gonna whisk this to start to dissolve that salt, and you can drop your bird right in there. I got about a 14-pound turkey here. We're leaving it whole since we're doing it rotisserie style. I'm just gonna drop that down in there. We wanna make sure it gets fully submerged, and then we'll lock it into place. Take the plate, push it down below the surface of the liquid, so now the turkey's fully submerged. We can throw this in the fridge. You're gonna wanna do about 1 hour per pound on this bird. So 14-pound bird, 14 hours. Throw it in the fridge overnight, lucky for you guys. I did one last night, so we're gonna see what it looks like here in just a second. So this bird's been soaking overnight. Just gonna get all that extra liquid out of there. Land it here in our prep tray. And I'm just gonna do a little bit of trimming. I'm just gonna take off some of this excessive skin up here, because as this is cooking in the rotis, that's just gonna burn up. Sometimes they still have a bit of like that tail going back here, so you can just take that off. This one's already been trimmed. Other than that though, there's no trimming to do. Now because we're doing this rotisserie style, I don't want these extremities flopping around, getting overcooked. So I'm just gonna pull these legs together, so we have like one kind of cohesive unit of turkey. Then we'll do one around just a little bit higher to hold everything in tight. And then for the wing end of the deal, go ahead and tuck these back. Nobody's eating those wing tips anyway. We'll go around the whole thing to pull those into the body. Make sure we got enough here. Give that the triple thread so it holds until we fully tie it down. Tie that off, snip the extra. Now let's get this thing on the rotisserie spit. We're gonna go right through the body cavity here. And put it right in the middle. And we're just gonna lock it into place with our forks. Now one of the crucial things here is you wanna make sure that you're getting into some meat so that it actually holds it in place and then it doesn't flop around. And then we'll just tighten it down. Same thing with the other side. Let's make sure we get into some meat here. Cinch it down, hold it all together, tighten that up. All right, at this point, now I'm going to season the outside. It wouldn't have made a ton of sense to season it any earlier before we knew what it was gonna look like right now. Now in this instance, we're just seasoning the skin. The interior's already got a lot of flavor from that lemon-thyme turkey bath. The outside is going to get our Cattleman's Grill Lone Star Texas brisket rub. So this is real savory. You know, you've got salt, pepper, roasted garlic, celery seed. So in this case, you're getting layers of flavor. You're gonna have that lemon-thyme, a little bit of sweetness, a little bit of citrus on the meat, and a nice salt and pepper bark on the outside. Gonna dump the charcoal now, it's red hot. The way we're gonna line this up is we're gonna put one chimney at either end. And that way it's gonna keep it a bit indirect while the turkey sits here right in the middle. Let's get this thing lined up. We'll get it plugged right in there to the motor. I feel like we could move this a little bit further to the right. Any work you're doing in here while it's hot, I recommend getting some nice leather gloves like these. I've definitely lost hair off my hands trying to do it without them. So now this guy's gonna come all the way down here, pop it right into that lip so it's locked in place, and then tighten it down. Let's flip the motor on and close it up. I can't tell you the exact temperature in there, but I can tell you it's hot because I'm sweating already. Now there's 5 levels that you can cook at on this grill. It's on the 4th one down. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna observe. We're gonna watch it cook for a while. I'll set a timer for half an hour. We'll see how the color's coming along. If we need more, which I don't think we will, we can always move those coals up. Or if we need less, we can move them down. But the other thing that we can do with this is we can control the airflow to kind of stifle or encourage more heat. Now this is wide open. This is gonna give you the maximum amount of heat that you can get. But for this cook, it's gonna take a while, so I'm gonna cut this down quite a bit. And to keep it even, we'll do the same thing on the other side. For now, I'm just gonna go ahead and keep the bottom, the intake air, wide open so it keeps sucking air in there. Now we're gonna make our honey mustard that's gonna go on the outside of the turkey. So we're gonna start with equal parts, a half cup each, starting with the Kozlik's Market Mustard. Just Market Mustard just means mustard with a little bit more personality. And then a half cup of Kansas Wildflower honey. That's honestly all there is to it. We're gonna whisk it up. That turkey's getting close to done. It's like in the 140s right now. So we're gonna go put this on the outside and let that turkey finish cooking with the honey mustard on top. I'm gonna turn that rotisserie off just for a minute so we can put some of this mustard on here and just kind of coat the outside. So finishing off this fairly savory bird with, you know, lots of herbs, some citrus, with a sweet and tangy glaze on the outside. And then we'll let it come up about 155 internal. Let's flip this over and get the other side. And when that hits 155 in the breast, that's where we're checking. In the very deepest part of the breast, that's like ideal for pulling temperature because it's gonna rest for a little bit, it's gonna come up a little bit more. The legs are gonna be a little bit higher, which is what we want, so we can get that nice velvety texture out of the legs, the dark meat. And in the meantime, this is gonna kind of caramelize up on the outside. Two hours and 25 minutes into this cook now. Checking on that internal temperature. I got 151, which means we've got just a few degrees to go before we pull this thing off. So you're looking at a 2.5 hour cook total for a 14-pound bird. Now you can see that our charcoal is really mellowed out. Still good heat coming off of there, but because it's not as hot as it once was, I brought that all the way up to put it closer to the bird to finish this off. The birds come up to temp, so we're gonna loosen this, pull this off of here, and then we'll just set it right up top here to rest for about 10 minutes before we slice into it. And just drop those coals all the way back down now, so we're not getting too much additional heat. Let's go ahead and get this thing off of here. Slip and slide turkey. Let's take this thing apart now and get rid of our string, our twine here. Try not to leave any behind. I've done that before. All right, easiest place to start is taking off those legs. You see how juicy that is? Crazy. I'm just gonna pop that joint. She comes right apart. Just gonna follow that seam right down there to that joint. Pop it out. It comes right off. Now for the breasts. Again, we're just gonna follow seams. There's ribs down here, there's a breastbone. You just cut right along either side of either one of them, I guess. And then nice, juicy white meat. Nobody wants to eat dry white meat. That's why we go 155 on these. You can absolutely smell that lemon-thyme seasoning, or the marinade. Doing the same thing on the other side. I know it's harder for you to see from this side, but it's easier for me. So I usually just try to get as big a chunk out of there as I can, because this you can now slice and serve really pretty. And then as far as the rest of it goes, I'm just gonna pick it apart. This is just your shredded chicken. This is what's going on top of your mashed potatoes and gravy. The wings will pop off. I get a little help from a knife. Same thing, find those joints, make the separations, break those apart. Let me show you my favorite bite in poultry. It's this little oyster that sits on the back. Right along the backbone, it's like the most tender piece of meat. That one's still connected to the thigh. That little tender bite right there. Turn it around, I'm not double dipping, I swear. You get all the lemon-thyme from the brine, but without the skin, you're not getting that honey mustard. Man. Those are the bites that are specifically reserved for whoever cooked this turkey. The rest of it is up for grabs. But that balance of sweet and tangy, and the honey and the mustard, and the saltiness and the citrus from the brine, all combined. Plus, you've got that salt and pepper flavor on the outside, basically a Texas brisket rub on the outside. You're hitting on every single cylinder. Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to check out atbbq.com for all the products featured in today's video. In fact, this entire recipe is gonna have its own kit, from tools to flavors, everything you need to make it for your Thanksgiving dinner, so go check that out. Be sure to hit that subscribe button, and for more recipes, tips, and techniques, head over to atbbq.com/thesauce. All things barbecue, where barbecue legends are made. Yeah, gains. Oof.